and I don't want to wreck her name, but I'm going to try to pronounce it. Um, Angeli, Angeli Ranadive. Angeli Ranadive. She was also named as the GM of the Stockton Kings. That's a big deal. So, like I just mentioned, the Sacramento Kings G League affiliate made history on Tuesday, naming Lindsay and then also Angeli. And it's the first time in G League history that two women will lead an affiliate team. That's a big deal. If you don't know who Lindsay Harding is, Lindsay, spent 4 seasons as an assistant player development coach with the Kings, and then also spent time on the Philadelphia 76ers staff. She played 9 seasons in the WNBA after being picked number 1 overall in the 2007 draft. First of all, I want to say it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. Hi, Tim. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Can I just say something?
2007? Yeah.
So, 2006, 2007 was my freshman year in college, and I got a chance to play against Lindsay Harding when she was at Duke.
How was that for you?
So, first time I got a chance to play with her, I was a scared freshman. I started that game, and we got blown out by 40 points. Okay? Really, really bad at the rack. And Duke wound up being the number 1 overall team in the NCAA tournament that year, and got a chance to redeem ourselves later on in the tournament. That same year, and look at this. Lindsay Harding was the National Player of the Year that year. But Lindsay Harding was also the player that allowed my team to get to the Elite 8. She missed 2 free throws at 0.2 seconds left on the clock. Oh, for sure. For sure, I'm bringing that up. I'm bringing it up. Lindsay, you don't know. I was a freshman that year, and we were all. I was on the bench like this, shaking. But fortunately for us, she missed those 2 free throws, so we were able to get to an Elite 8, and then eventually wound up going to a Final Four that year. So it was something. So that's how I kind of remember Lindsay. Lindsay.
Big time player though in college.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Killer in college.
Killer.
Killer. Killer in college. Killed in the league. And now she's doing big things that, have never been done. So
correct.
Shouts to Lindsay. This is a very big deal. She's setting precedents. This has never been done. And shouts to Angeli Ranadive as the general manager. Again, this has never been done in G League history, so it's kind of dope that 2 women are kind of leading the way this time around. So
very, very dope. And we're starting to, obviously, me and Shantae have been talking about this for a year and a half, and just how a lot of women are taking more leadership roles within the NBA, essentially.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
There is, Christy Tolliver. She's an active WNBA player right now, and she's an assistant coach on the Dallas Mavericks.
Which is a big deal.
Right. She started out with the Washington Wizards and kind of worked her way up, and now she's with the Dallas Mavericks. So, it's becoming a commonality to see women take positions of power and leadership positions in these organizations. And, I think it's needed, right? To offer a different perspective. Teresa Weatherspoon, she's assistant at the New Orleans Pelicans. So it's a beautiful thing to see, and I'm happy to see.
It's been a long time coming.
Right.
About time.
Right.
I'm a flag took it right out. Took the words out of my mouth.
Right.
It's been a long time coming.
It's needed. So congratulations to Lindsay and Anjala Ranadivi. I'm definitely butchering her name, but you know,
much respect to both of y'all.
Much respect. So we'll keep an eye on that and just kind of keep an eye on all like leadership positions that being filled by women within these top organizations. So yeah, and then kind of moving on. We know stuff like this doesn't get highlighted a lot, but obviously, like I introed in the beginning, me and Shantae are very big in community, and we had this conversation on our 9450 podcast episode about Kelsey Mitchell earning the Dawn Staley Community Leadership Award. So, Indiana Fever Guard Kelsey Mitchell has earned the Dawn Staley Community Leadership Award for her positive impact and dedication in the community. This was announced on June 5th. Essentially, the award, which is named in honor of WNBA legend and Hall of Famer Dawn Staley, was created to recognize a WNBA player who best exemplifies the characteristics of a leader in the community where they work or live. The award and its winner reflect Dawn Staley's spirit, leadership, charitable efforts, love for the game, and inspirational presence in the community. Kelsey is a Cincinnati, Ohio native, so she definitely is working in the community there. She also attended Ohio State University in Columbus, so she kind of stayed home essentially while she was in college. Was a killer in college. Again, another kind of personal tie to this outstanding person. My good friend Maya McCurdy at the time was an assistant coach with the Ohio State University. You know, I got a chance to go to a couple of the games and, you know, meet Kelsey in the flesh. Very humble person. She's a jokester too. She likes to laugh. But you know, it's amazing when you meet people and they are who you think they are, and it was amazing to meet Kelsey. She was in college at the time, obviously, so this was years ago, but I'm told that she's still kind of very much the same person, just a lot more mature, and just she's always trying to give back. So she also started her own essentially nonprofit foundation. It's called Kel's Hoop Foundation, through which she does this community work. And like I said, she's been doing community work in Cincinnati. She's done drives with Dick's Sporting Goods. She's partnered with the Cincinnati Police Department to kind of provide holiday gifts. And something else called Rosemary's Babies. And she's also doing work in Indiana where she works now. She's one of the leading scorers on the Indiana Fever right now. So, just it's admirable when you can, be a professional athlete and also pay it forward and give back. Really, really happy for her. Because she's been doing work in the community, the WNBA kind of gifted her organization with $10,000, and she will be using that to continue to do more work in the community.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
Shout out to Kelsey Mitchell.
Big shout out to Kelsey.
That's a fact.
Big
facts. Also wanted to shout out Benijah Laney because obviously I always try to shout out the Rutgers alumni, but she won the award last year for doing a lot of community service in the New York City area as well. So
I also want to say just shout to the Liberty, because bringing up Benijah, shouts to y'all, to the Liberty. They came up with a big win today against the Washington
Power off.
My bad.
Oh. Wait, did your phone die?
No, that was my speaker.
Yeah, I was about to tell the people. But shouts to the Liberty for a big win today against the Washington Mystics. Went into overtime. I didn't catch the entire game, but I was told that the Liberty were down about 20 plus, came back. The refs were terrible. From what I saw probably like the last 5 minutes of the fourth, and then I saw OC, and they pulled out the win. I think they won by a couple points. I mean, anywhere from 1 to 3 points, but it was a big win. The Mystics are a very tough team, and they came to play. But just wanted to shout out to Liberty because that was a big win for them.
Sure was, and it was at the in New York today, right?
I feel like it should be in the Garden. You see how you
right.
Yeah, but that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, shouts to the Liberty. That was a big win.
Pulled it out.
So we keep it going. We reported a couple of weeks ago, Brittany Griner, I guess she was trapped. They were traveling. And while they were trying to remain nameless, because he doesn't deserve any type of publicity, but nonetheless, she was harassed in the airport, and it brought up the conversation about charter flights. We discussed this even before the harassment situation with Brittany Griner on how, the WNBA, these women are not provided charter flights, which is crazy. But now, unfortunately, it's unfortunate that it takes an unfortunate event for something to change. And so after this ridiculous incident happened, High Hoop Dreams, after this happened to Brittany Griner, the harassment, now the WNBA is allowing public charter flights, but not necessarily on a consistent basis, or rather, I don't think it's going to be provided to every WNBA team. And so the league is allowing teams to use a public chartering service called JSX for select flights. Again, that means it's not for every flight. It's for selected flights. This comes amid increased pressure for the league to move away from commercial flights due to safety concerns. That's something that Brittany and I also discussed, how, not flying charter flights puts these women in uncharted territory.
Right.
And, have them subjected to, situations that unfortunately Brittany Griner was subjected to, which is harassment. And they're claiming one of the main reasons why teams fly commercially is because of the cost, as charter flights can get quite expensive. But, is it, expense? Are we more worried about expense, or are we, also concerned about safety?
Right.
It comes down to those two things. And so I say all that to say that, they're going to have selected charter flights. It's not going to be on a consistent basis. But hopefully this leads to the WNBA moving a little bit more swiftly with finding ways to cover these charter flights so these women could be safe. Hi, Ivy House Studio.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Didn't they? I feel like I sent you another article that came up too that said that they get special access to special lounges in the airport now too.
Okay. To lounge before the flight.
Right, so that they can be a little bit more comfortable before they get on their flights as well. So, again, like Shantae said, it's unfortunate that an unfortunate situation has to arise before they do anything, but that's the United States. We always wait. Really we always wait to the last minute to to find solutions to things. So just hoping that this continues to get better for them, and hopefully eventually they'll get chartered flights for every game, essentially, and don't have to be subjected to this stuff. So, so yeah, that's.
We'll see what happens. Again, WNBA, y'all gotta move a little bit more swiftly, to be honest.
No, that's a fact.
But yeah. So the All-Star game, the WNBA All-Star game is. It's happening fairly soon.
July 15th.
Yeah, in Vegas. I saw some tweets. A lot of people, I think, are going to the All-Star game. It should be a really exciting weekend. You know, there's been announcements about the two captains of this year's All-Star teams. So we have Breanna Stewart and then we have A'ja Wilson, which was fire because they both tough. And so, you know, there was a rundown of, you know, the front court starters, some being Aaliyah Boston. I just want to point out that this is like, first of all, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, she's a rookie. Right. It's very rare that you'll see a rookie making a star appearance as an all-star. And so the last time this actually happened was back in 2014, where a first-year rookie was selected as a starter for an all-star game. And so it's going to be exciting. I heard some people being upset about some people not being selected.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see how it goes. And I'll be watching. I would like to attend a WNBA All-Star Weekend. Right. I think that'll be fire. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the starters, like Las Vegas Aces got 3 players that have been selected as starters.
Mm-hmm.
A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, and what's her name? Chelsea Gray. Did y'all see Chelsea Gray's pass yesterday?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Yo.
And it was everywhere. It was even on the news.
Right.
They put it on the news.
Right. Right. Like behind the back pass to A'ja Wilson going full steam. Nah, y'all gotta see that highlight. But Las Vegas Aces, they looking like a well-oiled machine at this point. They're 12-1. And I think that game that they lost was kind of like an anomaly. DeWanna Bonner had 40 points that game. Like she put up a 40 beam. Okay. So that was really the reason why they didn't win. Like she took over the game essentially. But it's really nice to see that people are getting excited about women's all-star games.
Yeah.
When I was watching the Dallas Wings versus the LA Sparks this afternoon, they basically said that the WNBA All-Star game Google search went up by 140%. While you know while the game was going on.
40?
Yeah. So
I love to hear that. So that's such a huge lead.
Yeah. So this is, you know, obviously, like we always say, women's basketball is on a crescendo. We already understand that. But you know, a lot of people don't really understand. But if you could get in now and you know, grasp the concept that women's basketball is gonna, you know, it's changing. We're gonna be having girls dunking, like we already see it. Girls in college dunking, you know.
Way more competitive. I mean, not to say it wasn't competitive before.
Right.
I just think with the talent, like the increase in talent plus the competitiveness is just, it's a beautiful mixture of just great entertainment. For lack of better words. So I think that we're going to be really entertained this year. I'm very interested in seeing what the numbers look like after the weekend, after all the numbers are collected.
Right.
And to see what celebrities pop in, because that's also going to be very telling. We've been seeing a lot of what up, Britt? We've been seeing a lot of celebrities pop in the Barclays Center.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm very interested to see who pops up in Vegas.
The star's gonna be out. Like I'm saying, I see this like when you got Money Mayweather on the sideline at the Vegas games all the time. It's Come on,
That's something.
He's one of the greatest boxers to go down. Like he's always at the game with his TMT hat on. Okay, like we seeing celebrities pull up for the women, and that's an amazing thing to see. And it's due, right? It's about time.
It's about time, and it's rightfully so. Because these women are balling. So
big facts.
And the person I meant to say is Thomas. A lot of people are mad at Thomas. That's who on Thread people are like,
how? I mean, they're right behind the Aces, I believe, in the record. Like I believe they're 10-2. So like they're a good team too. And Alyssa Thomas is a walking triple-double. She just got another triple-double today.
It's been a lot of people are angry or surprised.
Yeah, because she deserves to be a starter. Like she does. I mean, we talked about this on the 9450 podcast. Like, I don't know if she's not a good person, but that shouldn't matter.
Wait.
Okay.
Crazy is after you said that, I'm like, why did Brittany? Like, what is this about? I didn't really do my due diligence and really dive in deep as to why you said that, but I literally have seen several tweets after you said that mirror that, and I'm like, why do people keep talking about her personality?
Yeah, I have no idea
how that could potentially be a factor as to why she wasn't chosen to be an all-star.
Yeah.
So I have to do a little digging, because you're not the only person that has said that. I've literally seen several tweets go out saying the same thing, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't.
What is going on? So
I don't know.
Back to you on that, but that's unfortunate. Hopefully, this doesn't deter her production for the rest of the season, which I'm pretty sure it will not. Because she should. If anything, this is gonna be a chip on her shoulder.
And
keep killing y'all.
It's funny you say chip on your shoulder because she's playing with 2 torn shoulders too.
Right. So she's killing y'all with 2 torn shoulders.
Yeah.
And this is probably gonna even motivate her to do more damage to y'all.
Facts.
Because of how y'all playing with her.
Right.
So shouts to WNBA, but then also shouts to Alyssa Thomas. Keep doing what you need to do.
Facts.
To prove these people wrong, keep showing up.
Hey.
So
I don't know. But more WNBA news. So the Mercury Fire head coach and supposedly so that's because they started 2-10.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think they quoted Brittany Griner in this episode. In this article, it was like, this is basically, she was saying this is unacceptable.
Right.
And it is. It is unacceptable.
I mean, we talking about a franchise that's won at least 3 WNBA championships.
Mm-hmm.
So they're used to winning, essentially. But obviously, you got Taurasi, who is the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, and then you got obviously Brittany Griner coming back from the ordeal that she had to deal with. So like you got 2 of the most popular players in the league, plus some other good players on the team. I really like what's her name, Sophia Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a very solid kind of like role player on the team. I think she's doing really good, but it's not translating to the court. Essentially, they are like we said 2-10 now, and they obviously don't want to be at the bottom of the pack. Vanessa Nygaard, I think she's been the coach for 2 years now, and she's had like a 17-31
And
record.
she's had some beefs. I had to take note of that. Skylar Diggins. Listen, I remember that.
Yeah. Skylar Diggins and Taraji, they were going at it on the bench. I remember that.
Skylar and the coach and Vanessa. So
right.
I saw tweets going out trying to be funny too. And people was like, "Was Skylar correct? Was Skylar right?" With some of the, I don't know, but
yeah, I mean,
now,
it's and Skylar, she's out because she's out on pregnancy leave. Mm-hmm. She just had her second child, I believe. So she's but there's clips of her with legend Bridget Pettis. She's back in the gym. So
I haven't heard Bridget Pettis in a long time.
Yeah. So she's on the staff for the Phoenix. So
wow. Okay.
There's been clips of her doing workouts with her. So
that's good.
They need Skylar. They need that scoring. And Skylar, she's fiery. She's a fiery player. I got a chance to play against her in college. Fiery. Woo! Mm-hmm. She'll talk trash too. So you gotta,
for sure.
You
gotta come correct.
Facts.
For sure. But yeah, Nikki Blue right now is serving as the team's interim head coach for the rest of the season. We'll see how the Mercury deal with the news today. Mercury is my squad. We need her back ASAP. Yo. We're going to see how the Mercury ends up for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Big facts. Let's see if they
Very interesting to see.
They can turn it around a little bit after this.
I hope so. A 2-10 start is kind of
Yeah, kind of whack.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of whack. What's up, Devon? What's up, Tina?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, so
we just wrapped up talking about the Mercury firing Vanessa Nygaard and just seeing how the Mercury kind of end up in the remainder of the season. The remainder of the season. We'll see.
Facts.
We'll see.
Facts. So rolling along, NIL news, like most of the time we talk about name, image, and likeness. 2021 policies were passed so that athletes can now monetize themselves. And this is an interesting one. So the NCAA committee recommends dropping marijuana from the banned drug list for student athletes.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this week on a podcast episode with 9450. Brittany actually brought this to my attention. We talked about how this was really interesting considering, in college, us being previous college basketball players and student athletes, you were subjected to random drug tests throughout the season. You didn't know when it was going to happen. You didn't know who it was going to happen to. You just know at any time somebody could pull up and be like, hey, you need to go in the bathroom with this representative so we can take the urine.
Violation. It's a violation.
And, yeah, it was a violation. It was very intrusive. But, we also know a few people that have been subjected to having to sit out, being suspended, missing out on a few games because traces of marijuana was found in their urine.
Yeah.
So we just think it's very interesting that now the NCAA, it seems like they're having to change of heart.
Mama Flag said it's me.
And Mama Flag is funny because Marissa was like, no, and no.
Right.
This week she was like, NCAA, y'all doing too much. And so, we even outside of like basketball and we talked about Sha'Carri Richardson, and we can name a ton of other student athletes and just athletes in general that have been disqualified from performing because of marijuana use.
Right.
So yeah, now they're looking into potentially getting it off the banned drug list, and it's going to take all of the divisions to basically approve of the changing of the guard, changing of these rules, so that student athletes can actually partake in marijuana use. I don't know if they're going to limit how much they can actually take. We're very interested in seeing how this actually is implemented. But I wanted to talk about how this is also interesting in the NIL space because, there's rules or strict regulations on what student athletes can promote as far as the NIL deals are concerned. Like, they can't promote illegal activities such as gambling and betting. And part of that is marijuana, it's drugs. So it's very interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see if or how, this change kind of changes what type of deals these student athletes, enter into and promote.
Right.
That's going to be interesting.
Look here. You remember the campaigns when we was in school? Don't bet on it. Like, they had us sit down and watch all of these videos and things on gambling and stuff like that. And I just think that this move is tied to profit. That's really what I think this is about, because there have obviously been studies coming out that, not just like THC, but the other things, right? The cannabinoids, the oils, and all these stuff help recovery, help pains and aching. Like, there's been a lot of times we've heard NBA players talk about how they've used marijuana to recover from, instead of using painkillers and stuff like that and becoming addicted to those. So this is a very interesting move for the NCAA, and I'm really, the committee basically said that during this panel that they hosted, that marijuana and its byproducts are not considered performance enhancing substances. So there's a big problem with PEDs in sports anyway, right? Like, we've seen it in baseball probably being the most prevalent. But I'm really interested just to see how they tie in the profit into this, because these companies are starting to promote these things, right? I clearly remember when we went to ETH Denver and we went into that Zen room, there was a couple that was promoting their THC products and
that's right,
their cannabinoid products and all that stuff. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting, and we just putting our thinking caps on to see how this is really about to play out. A lot of states have okayed the use and distribution of marijuana, so it's illegal in a lot of states. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how some of these states are passing NIL laws now to kind of protect universities, and so it is all about profit. And I'm with Brittany, just very interested in seeing how these colleges and really student athletes and agents kind of take advantage in a good way, I guess, of this potential change. This is a huge change.
Major shift. So
major. So
we'll keep y'all abreast on what is going on with that, because that would just kind of really change the game. We already know college athletes, they're smoking.
Right.
We already know that. So
Mama Flax said image is everything. Personal usage or personal time is one thing, but making money represents product. I don't know. Yeah, that's true too. We gonna see what it's here for though. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a slippery slope at this point. So
right now, it's definitely a slippery slope. I mean, again, all three divisions actually have to approve it. It's there's
Right.
gonna be there's a whole bunch of stuff that need to be taken, but I mean, Mama Flag has a point, and it's just gonna be interesting. I never thought we'd see the day.
Nah, that's a
Where
fact.
the NCAA is even recommending this.
That's a fact. And since Mama Flag is in here, y'all go click on Mama Flag's profile. She is definitely in the running to become a favorite chef. It's a competition right now with Carla Hall. Well, she'll be able to meet Carla Hall and also win a prize for 25 grand to kind of grow her business. She's a phenomenal chef. I'm a chef, so I always have to promote other chefs. Go vote for her, please. Okay, please vote for her. You have until I believe Thursday to vote, and you can vote daily. I know I put in some votes for her, but she needs as many as she can get. Okay, she's in the second round, so please go support Mama Flag and her catering business so that she can grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Brittany said GSU is building a whole NIL division. Georgia won't legalize marijuana for anything. Weed is everywhere. Some places this is designed for these kids to feel easy. Yeah, that's
another point of view.
You're right, Brittany. That's another great point. But it's also going to be interesting to see if, in fact, the NCAA does approve this, if states would then flip their laws. Of course, Mama Flag, to mirror. Again, to Brittany's point, it's about money. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these states flip their legislation to match the NCAA.
Right.
So that everybody wins. Everybody gets paid.
Right. I mean, we've been talking about how the NCAA wants a federal bill, right? Like an overall federal bill so that every state doesn't have something that they do. What if that bill never comes? We don't know.
It's interesting. And we're going to cover that in another week. But I definitely saw an article asking what is the NCAA going to do with a federal bill? Because they're kind of banking on a bill by the fall.
That's not going to happen.
If that never comes, what are y'all going to do?
That's too fast, to be quite honest. And obviously there are many different opinions when you got to put a bill like that of the highest stature into play. Right. So it's I don't believe that that's gonna happen that soon. For sure, not for sure. But we'll keep y'all up to date and posted on what that looks like with the marijuana policy. But moving along, we talked about EA Sports and how they've been foul. But EA Sports has been sued by licensing group Brander for the simple fact that they kind of lowballed these.
But I found out more information, Brittany.
Okay, let's go. This is Shantae putting her legal hat on. She the attorney.
EA Sports is nasty.
Okay, let's see.
That's what I want to start off by saying.
Okay.
So we reported a few weeks ago, EA Sports, obviously we all know EA Sports creates video games and has been using like the likeness of professional athletes, and now they're able to utilize college athletes' likeness in video games. And so EA Sports wants to create a 2024 NCAA football video game. With, I think up to student athletes from 52 universities within the game. EA Sports only. All right, so EA Sports was like, okay, we're going to give all the student athletes $500. They're not going to get no royalties in the game, just a flat out $500 for the rest of the year. Just $500, one-time payment of $500. Now, a lot of agents of those student athletes were like, this is ridiculous. How are you giving everybody just a flat out $500? Right. The truth of the matter, some football players are better than others. Some agents may want to, negotiate other, top rate. It's laughable. Right?
$500.
Yes. So that was the first slap in the face. So then Brander Group is actually is a licensing group that helps conduct negotiations between universities and their student athletes and brands such as EA Sports. And so Brander is like the go-to licensing group to do this, apparently. But what EA Sports did was EA Sports was like, nah, okay, EA Sports was like, okay, cool. We're gonna work with you, Brander, to get these student athletes to sign our deals so that we can utilize their name, image, and likeness in the 2024 game. Brander Group is like, okay, cool. EA Sports went under the table and went to a whole other licensing group by the name of One Team Partners to facilitate the group bargaining. So they already entered into an agreement with Brander and then was being shiesty basically and was like, no, we're going to go through One Team Partners because they may actually give us what we want, which is for us to pay them $500 and get us the student athletes that we want. So that's why Brander is actually suing EA Sports. And that's what we call tortious interference in legal terms. So this has nothing, it actually has nothing to do with the $500 offer. It has everything to do with
They switched up. They
switched up, which goes against their agreement.
Wait.
So EA Sports is nasty on two fronts.
Right.
EA Sports is nasty because you're offering these young men $500, a one-time payment of $500, and then you're nasty for kind of going behind Brander's back to a whole other licensing company to get this done, which you already entered into an agreement with them. So EA Sports is really showing their behinds right now and showing that they're operating in like just a lack of integrity. Right now. So dirty business. EA Sports is a $34 billion company.
Yeah.
I'm interested in hearing. I have the suggestion that Devon has.
Yeah, Devon, what's your suggestion? And yes, they still think that they're dumb jocks. Correct.
But it's really good. And we talked about this on a podcast episode this week with 9450. It really is a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And EA Sports being a $34 billion company, you didn't think that this was going to get out?
Yeah, shiesty.
Why do we expect integrity? Right. I guess that's a great question. It's just nasty, I guess. And you know what? That's a great question. I don't know if we're expecting integrity, but I think that y'all should have just been, EA Sports should have been a little lower about, be a little more sneaky with your nastiness, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Nah,
right? But you can't because you're a $34 billion company.
They out in the open.
NIL is such a huge conversation right now. It's such a hot topic. Why would you do that?
Right.
Devon said, this is why we need our own. Absolutely. You're on the money.
We talk about that all the time.
All the time.
Like these agencies and brands, like they really continue to feel like they can get over on us because, you know, like we said, people not reading contracts. Like we talk about this on the artist side, how musicians just be signing any type of contract. You know, Shantae's an attorney, so you know, she always heavily stresses read. You know, like what are your rights? What can you do within this deal? Like you should know what you can do, essentially. So it's quite remarkable. Like Devon said, why do we expect integrity? You know, I think we do because ourselves, we would show integrity in this situation, right? And that's one of the things that we kind of stress all the time is being a person of integrity and leading with transparency. So it's, you know, they've been practicing they've been doing this for a long time, and for us it's a new game essentially. So you know, we got to figure out how to navigate the nasty waters of these of these brands. So it's just unfortunate, but it's gonna continue to happen until
Yeah, like,
you know.
we're not shocked, but it's just like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm side-eyeing EA Sports now.
yeah, like EA Sports, y'all are nasty.
Like y'all got the money to spend. Yeah, y'all got the money. Yeah.
Like I said, but in our community, we believe in integrity. It's a form of currency. We have to know they will move crazy, right?
That's a fact.
And I think that luckily a lot of these student athletes that EA Sports were looking to actually enter into licensing agreements with, you know, had agents that had, and even some of the student athletes had enough sense to be like $500.
Right.
Not enough.
Right.
And in this ecosystem, the difference between 10 years ago, let alone 5 years ago, and now is these student athletes know their worth. They know that they can be getting a lot more money, and they are thinking long term.
Right.
It's just a different time. So I'm just glad that their agents and they themselves had enough sense to be like, this is not enough. $500 is not enough. I don't even get royalties, so I'm not getting paid after this $500. So I guess that is the positive out of this whole thing. You know, stopping it dead in its tracks and not continuing forward with, you know, to move in this direction.
That's a fact. Know your worth. Know your worth.
That's the takeaway.
Right. And like this kind of rolls into the next article. Like Livy Dunn, she's a gymnast from LSU. Probably has one of the highest NIL valuations in all of college.
Yeah.
She's signing another NIL partnership.
Yeah, I don't know how many she has now. LSU was really dominating. If we had like a chart, LSU is coming up crazy.
That's a fact. We might have to make that chart up because I don't know if anybody
specifically for the like
right
on the women's side.
Correct.
LSU is a powerhouse when it comes to NIL deals.
That's a fact.
They are doing what they need to do. You should get the Andrew Wilson on your shoulders. Right.
Interesting. Do you have a connect to Mr. Andrew Wilson so we can get him on here? We always looking for people to come on here and talk. So, but yeah, this from cosmetics to clothing brands, food delivery service, trading cards, Livy Dunn's NIL portfolio is vast. We want to talk about diversifying your portfolio. This young lady is doing everything, essentially. LSU stands for Let's Sign Up because everybody getting to the bag. That's a good one, Britt. No, that's a fact.
Everybody is getting a bag.
So with this NIL partnership, she's partnering with Motorola. The LSU gymnast promoted the new Motorola Razr Plus at a release party in New York City. She did a little TikTok ad doing that. The video shows Dunn posing for selfies using the phone's user interface and videoing a Cirque du Soleil performance at the party. Basically, the new Razr Plus is an upgraded twist on Motorola's original Razr phone. So is that the flip joint?
Yeah, I think they bring it back to flip joint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Listen, we had a flip Razr.
That's a fact. Okay. It was a good phone. Okay. It says while the phone has seen various iterations, the Razr Plus stands out as being essentially a smartphone that bends. The phone boasts the extra external display of any flip phone ever created. The brand released the phone in 3 various colors, including a pink scheme. So the first time the company has released a phone in that color since the early Razr phones in the 2000s. Oh man, she's entering her senior season. And you know, she's continuing to get to the bag. She said that girl's getting to them deals because she's a wholesome white woman. And she looked good. Okay?
Yeah, and we talking about how Brittany brought this up months ago, how people was actually coming for her because she was, showing a little bit of skin here and there.
Yeah, Tara Vanderveer, head coach at Stanford. She was hating.
Yeah.
She was hating. I mean, Tara, but let's not let's not go there. Let's not go there, but you are correct. Yeah. You are correct. Yeah. That's correct. That's
not
correct.
Money. You want the money.
That's correct.
You want the money with that.
Nah, he's absolutely correct in saying that. It's the color.
Yeah.
She's.
But we still are, we do what we need to do.
That's a fact.
About Angel Reese.
Flau'jae.
Flau'jae. It's a lot of other people kind of. They're not playing with the bag. Right. They're showing up on the floor, and they're getting this money. So
get it on the floor.
In that same regard, I'm happy to see that. But yeah, she's showing up. Shouts to Livy. She's not playing over here. She's not playing.
She's not. She's securing herself. So if this gymnast stuff don't work out, after she done, she gonna get something. Yeah. So shout out to LSU, continuing to get to the bag. Okay. Mm-hmm. What is this? The last NIL. ESPN discusses how Derek Lively II used his NIL money to honor his late father while he was at Duke. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and this just shows the power of just how how big the NIL really means in this space to these student athletes and to families. Like, so yeah, Derek Lively.
Yeah.
Second. Mm-hmm. His name was called this week during the draft, the 2023 draft on Thursday. And but unfortunately, his father died when he was 7 back in 2011. And when he passed away, his family didn't have the money to give him a tombstone. And so he made enough money through NIL to finally be able to give his father a tombstone, which is very touching. But this again just shows how important, the NIL is. It's not all about, buying flashy things. Or this money is life-changing money, right, to student athletes, let alone a lot of Black and brown families. This is life-changing. Right. And this is an example of that. And so also, his mom was diagnosed with cancer in 2014. And she was fighting the disease until July 2022, when she went into remission. And with the NIL money, he was able to actually buy her a home. He bought her a house. Wow. She works at her alma mater, and he made sure that she lived nearby him. He was able to do that with the NIL money. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. This is what we mean by this was a very touching story, but it's how important it is, and it also shouts to him because he was drafted. Yeah. Again, put in a position to change his family's life. Right. But it's so dope that he was able to do this while in college. Like, he didn't have to wait to make it to the league to help his family out. So, shouts to him, and I'm glad that, he was able to get his father a tombstone and make sure his mother was good. And
yeah, that's fire.
This is the story. Like, this is the impact story of NIL. Like, this is it.
That's the one.
This is it. So, if anybody has doubts about why, if these kids should get paid, refer back to this story.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of student athletes are kind of doing this, right? Like, using their NIL money to kind of make change or make impact, not just for their families, but other communities too.
Yeah.
So
Devon asks, what are the downsides? We've spoken about a couple of, stories and situations where some of these kids ended up on the other side of the story. I can't think of his name. What's the football player's name that we
Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't remember his name right now, but we'll just say that some of the downsides is that a lot of these kids get big heads, and a lot of them pursue NIL deals just for the money. Like they're looking for, so basically they're not trying to create like real relationships. They're just looking for Rashada, right? Jaden Rashada. They're just looking for money in order to kind of choose where they want to go, essentially. So they're not in it for, the love of being a student athlete. They're doing it for the love of getting to the bag and kind of.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't get the bag because, like Brittany just put in the comments, they don't read the fine print, or there is no fine print. So with Jaden Rashada, he was I think a top 5 or top 10 ranked national football player in high school. He was getting recruited by the top schools in the country. One of these top schools, I believe it was Florida, promised him that he'd be getting millions of dollars through NIL. Never got it. Rescinded his letter of intent. It was a mess.
It was.
Rescinded his letter of intent. Went to another Florida school. Can't remember the name of the school right now. He put in a letter of intent at that school. Ended up actually rescinding his letter of intent for that school as well, and then went somewhere else. I say what I like to say, like that's one of the downsides of NIL. What's up, Ian?
Yeah, he said they should
go through some type of mandatory training. Yeah, like some of the legislations that they have in place in some of these states is that these student athletes actually have to take economic focus courses or financial literacy courses to actually keep the bag. And I actually think their parents need to go through a course as well. The families of these student athletes actually need to go as well too.
Yeah, most players sleep through financial planning seminars. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Crazy, but we're also coming from a space where we're no longer 18, 19, 20, 21. So we understand how important those seminars are. We understand how now, if you want to get that education, how much money it costs to get that information. Right. So I don't expect them to roll over easily, in hearing this information. But we have to, find unique ways to kind of get it through their head that this is something that they're going to need throughout the remainder of their lives. Not just for now, not just for these 4 years, but even afterwards.
Right.
Right. So I don't know, finding unique and cool ways to kind of keep their attention is kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Play stupid games, I say that too. Stupid prizes. Yeah, Shantae always says that. But yeah, that's an important thing. We talk about investing all the time, and how important that is, in financial planning, financial literacy, and all those stuff like taxes. They got to be able to learn how to do their taxes because now they're getting this money. What you gonna owe to IRS, right? Like Uncle Sam's coming for you.
All that stuff is important. Yeah. Investing is important. We didn't have this on the agenda, but maybe you want to talk about it real quick, Brittany. I don't know, not put you on the spot with the Liberty owner.
Oh yeah. So what's his name? Jose. It was reported this week. He is the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, and he's also the owner of the New York Liberty, and he's essentially just became appointed one of the chairmen on Alibaba. obviously we know Alibaba is it's a $240 billion company. And him and Jack Ma have been good friends. Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba. They've been good friends for a while, and now he's now a chairman on the board for Alibaba. So like he's also a chairman on the board for the Barclays Center. He's also a chairman on the board for one of these Major League Soccer teams. So like it's also right. A lot of different pieces. I mean, we also talked about how, Jordan just made that flip with selling the Hornets, right? We talked about how, he purchased the team for $275 million in 2010, and now he's going to be, the team is now going to be valued at $3 billion when he sells it. So like, it's important, right? J. Cole has also come in as one of the people who's on that team for buying the Hornets now. So we talk about this all the time, how like investing, like you need multiple streams of income at this point.
Yeah, if you're on a board, listen, the goal is to get on these boards. I heard Jordan lost out. I have to do my due diligence on that. But I've been seeing that.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about that.
We definitely
really has been going on behind closed doors. But nonetheless, out my tax bracket as of now. So I don't know. But
yeah, that's a fact.
We've seen the conspiracy theories on why Mike sold.
Yes, we have. And if y'all didn't know, my guy Devon, he is a financial planner. He's a tax accountant. He does all of that. So like,
you should actually holler at Devon.
Yeah. He's also an author. So let I got your book right here, brother. I'm reading it. All right, I'm not done yet, but we reading it. So we are a multifaceted people. So shout out to my guy Devon Hardy, Spiral of Manhood. Go cop that. So we do multiple things, right? Yeah. So that's hilarious. But yeah, investing. And that kind of moves us along into like tech. Like investing in tech kind of go hand in hand because tech is such a big space right now, and it's continuing to kind of just expand. So y'all all know Nike. Nike has partnered with Fortnite to do to basically get into the Web3, essentially.
Yeah.
So Web3 is kind of just an expansion of the internet, if you want to say. It's another iteration of the web, where now the people can get to control or have some say in ownership of things that are digital assets, right? So as teased last week, popular video game Fortnite has announced a collaboration with apparel giant Nike and its Swoosh Web3 platform, which offers digital apparel and accessories sold as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. The alliance does not integrate NFTs into Fortnite, but the link between the companies still involve crypto elements. Unveiled earlier this week, Airphoria is a Nike branded experience within Fortnite's creative mode, letting users go on the ultimate Nike sneaker hunt within a Fortnite game world. So the experience, which will be live in the game until June 27th, can earn players a free in-game back bling or avatar accessory styled like a classic pair of Nike Air Max sneakers. Ew.
Yeah.
Air Max.
I don't play Fortnite, but I'm pretty sure people in here either have kids that, are heavy on Fortnite, or a child that has discussed Fortnite. We've talked about how, big brands have collaborated with Fortnite to bring their products or, apparel into Fortnite. So in Fortnite, you can, you get avatars, or you can customize what they can have customized clothes, or you can choose what your avatar wears. And I think that I think Gucci had a collab with Fortnite, I believe. There's been a couple of major players that have collabed with Fortnite in the past, and so now Nike is another that Fortnite can add to its list of big brands to collaborate with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very interested in seeing, you know, I mean, yeah, there's no NFT. I don't think this is like, they're not providing an NFT, but that's not to say in the future there won't be like some type of like NFT
drop.
Drop in Fortnite or in that way, like them collaborating in that way. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is becoming a popular thing. We just spoke about how LaMelo Ball just did a drop with the Gutter Gang Cats. So and essentially, if you, that's kind of wild, but essentially, if you buy his NFT, which is the digital form of the sneaker, you will be able to redeem the physical pair of sneakers in the store. So, this is something that's becoming popular. People not really on it right now, but it's gonna become a thing within the next couple of years. So, shout out to Nike and Fortnite. Okay, Roxanne, here we go. Another artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Lawyers.
We've been talking about AI for the past several weeks, and like how, you know, AI has really crept into like every industry. We talked about music, you know, now you can play with people's voices. You can take an artist's voice, make it seem like they recorded something they didn't even record it. I think 30 pounds.
Kenneth.
And so a couple weeks ago, we reported how there was an attorney who was facing sanctions because he filed a motion in court using ChatGPT. He went to ChatGPT to find cases to support his client's claims. The other side was like, The other side was like, I did research on these cases, and these are not real cases. Like, what are you doing? He doubled down and was like, these are real cases. Like, what are you talking about? Right. These are real cases, and you can find them. Court was like, no, they're not. They're not real cases. So he was facing sanctions, and he was pleading with the court. Like, Brittany and I was snickering a few weeks ago, but it's messed up, right? But he was pleading with the court not to just bar him. Also, you know, pleading with the court not to give him sanctions. So, I still like to say that I think this is a harder case, to be honest. This is not even the same attorney, I believe. There's two other lawyers that use fake cases from ChatGPT, and they are facing sanctions. They face a $5,000 fine, which isn't, you know, a crazy amount, but nonetheless embarrassing. The New York District Judge Castell, he made his decision this week. And he basically said, like, they could have avoided these sanctions had they not doubled down on these being real cases. And I just wanted to highlight again that it's important for us to do our due diligence in this technology. You have to do your research. Don't get caught out here slipping. AI needs to be, this is Kenneth, AI needs to be governed. They have tests that can mimic your voice. All they need is your information. Yes, that is absolutely correct. We also reported a few weeks ago how there was a professor at the university that unfortunately was on the bad side or the negative side of ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually spit out some information saying that he engaged in
sexual assault.
misconduct, sexual assault. And he's claiming that that's not true. That ChatGPT actually lied and came up with these false allegations. The problem is AI is not a person. AI is code. So
right.
It gets crazy to Kenneth's point. We also talked about how there are bodies of law that are working on creating legislation centered around AI. The legislation or the body of law is just moving extremely slow, which is always a problem.
That's a fact.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Devon. We appreciate that. Keep being great, my brother.
Yes. So yeah, just wanted to highlight due diligence. Banks are not entering into the AI space. And just because they're a bank doesn't mean that the information they're providing is accurate either. So you're gonna have to just do your due diligence to make sure that the information that you're being provided is true.
That's a fact.
That's the moral of the story.
And there we go. On to the last Web3 article here. World of Women. We've spoke about World of Women NFT. So they're partnering with FC Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is huge.
Wow.
This is huge.
Okay.
This is huge.
Spanish soccer giant FC Barcelona has teamed up with NFT project World of Women for the second release of the club's 10-part Masterpieces collection, which artistically spotlights the achievements of iconic players past and present. Titled Empowerment, the digital artwork created by artist Ree Madeline celebrates women club captain Alexia Putellas and symbolizes the transformation and a catalyst for progress, according to the club. The gold-adorned artwork depicts Putellas during the Women's Champions League semifinal match versus the German club Wolfsburg in 2022, a game in which she scored a brace or 2 goals to lead her team to victory. The 2-day auction for Empowerment will begin on June 26th, so tomorrow, exclusively on the OpenSea market, which is the largest NFT marketplace that exists at this point. Physical utility for the NFT, which is minted on the Ethereum scaling network Polygon, includes the opportunity to meet Putellas as well as the ability to claim a signed pair of boots and a physical seat from a Barcelona stadium named Spotify Camp Nou, signed by the player. Okay, well, at least they got some physical assets in there. That's pretty fire. Yeah, World of Women has become one of the, like, what do they call it? The blue chip NFTs. So it's nice to see them continuing to partner with these big brands. And yeah, I already know I love soccer. Women's World Cup is this summer. Actually starts on July 20th. I'm gonna be honest, our USA women's team, we done suffered a lot of injuries this past year. We got about 14 new players that have made the roster. Obviously, we got Alexis Morgan and Megan Rapinoe and another veteran that's still on the team, but it's going to be hard to find chemistry in the World Cup. You know, we looking to win our 5th World Cup, and I'm just kind of saddened that a lot of people have gotten injuries. And, you know, I kind of broke down the other day, realizing that some of our best players are not going to be competing for this World Cup. So, you know, I'm still kind of, you know, I still got a little hope in the back of my mind, but people do got to step up. But shout out to FC Barcelona and World of Women kind of collab.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to see. Great thing to see. And
I'm gonna let you take that last one.
yeah, last
This is near and dear.
This is yeah. So if y'all don't know, I'm also like a certified holistic health coach, and very big into helping athletes and just community members understand how important health is. And this did not rub me the right way when this came out earlier this week. So the USDA essentially approved the sale of lab-grown chicken this week. Chicken that comes directly from chicken cells rather than an actual chicken. So they're basically breeding chickens in a lab, extracting cells from real chickens. Right. Like, I mean, this probably isn't new. They're probably just putting this on Front Street to kind of let us know. So this is just quite ridiculous. Like, I talk about this all the time. Like, if you are going to eat meat, you have to get a high quality type of meat. If it's chicken, it should be pasture raised. It shouldn't be industrial, because there's a lot of stuff going on in these factory farms that people don't really realize. And all that energy that is stored in that animal, the fear it has when, it's about to get slaughtered, that all transfers to the meat that you eat, essentially. So, like, now we about to lab-grown meat, right? Or cultivated meat is going to be the new thing. And I'm pretty sure they haven't tested this on how it impacts the human being, just like a whole bunch of other things that they haven't tested. They just throw it out to us, essentially. Yeah, Mama Flag said McDonald's. Right. These big fast food chains are probably going to be the first ones to kind of utilize.
Shortage.
Right.
Shortage.
Yeah.
So they've been doing that.
Oh, yeah. Them wings at BBQs, they look like the size of my hand. Huge. Right? Like, and I come from a place where I really support like local produce and local farmers and all that. Like, if you get a chicken from a farm as opposed to buying chicken in the store, two totally different things, right? Like, if you look at the fat on the chicken is more yellow from a chicken that's been raised on, the farm in the open air. And obviously, I know the Tysons and the Purdue's and all these different entities that are leading our chicken production, but it's a totally different thing. Like, it just rubs me the wrong way when I see stuff like this, because these things have already been injected with antibiotics and hormones and all these different things. So it's our governing body for what is supposed to be acceptable food, right? The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. So, like, it's like y'all approving this stuff, but obviously y'all all know that this is always tied to some type of profit. So, and we don't even know if this stuff is going to be labeled, right? Like, when they put it in the store. So, like, it's going to be hard for the average person to tell whether something is lab grown or if it's really an actual chicken. So just wanted to put that on your radar, because it's getting wild out here. It's getting wild out here. Like, I'm already complaining. I was complaining earlier this week that I couldn't find seeded grapes. Like, you can't find seeded grapes anywhere. Everything is seedless. And then I look on packages, it'd be like, it's organic seedless. All right, marketing. All right. Like, how can a fruit not have a seed? Like, watermelons, seedless.
Seedless?
I never eat seedless watermelon at all. So you know, y'all can just think about it. Like, how can a fruit come with no seed? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, just kind of wanted to bring that to y'all attention, and I think that's really all I got for y'all from that. Yeah, got any questions? Hit me up. You know, I'm always willing to talk about this food stuff and, you know, how you can serve yourself better. Okay. I've been a vegetarian for the past I'll say going on 4 years. And it's been doing good for me. So
right.
Yeah. Always welcoming more people into the plant-based arena. So holla at your girl. And that's it. That's it for our show this week.
That's it.
Yeah, we ended right at 8:30, which is usually the time we end. So this is kind of perfect. As always, we kind of express extreme gratitude to everybody that came through and kind of engaged with us. We really appreciate the support, and you know, continue to follow us, continue to engage with us. We love when people post comments, DM us, you know, or also right.
Getting that where we discuss. I'm thinking about Melissa because I was actually happy that.
Yeah, that definitely was mad funny, and I heard it in her voice, like when you know. So it was definitely funny, very funny. So again, follow us on Twitter, follow us here on IG. Link in the bio. You can sign up for our newsletter. We're definitely going to be dropping another newsletter within the next week because we want y'all to hear our podcast episodes that we've been coming out with. So
check out 9450. We partnered with them to release podcasts. And it's been great so far. We're on episode 2. You can catch our episodes on Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a few other places, but Spotify's the main one.
Yeah, you can. It's also on Apple Podcasts too. So,
okay, so catch it there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Beyond the 9450.
Yeah.
So catch us there because we're actually recapping newer topics earlier in the week.
Correct.
We really deep dive on Sundays. We were just talking about what she said. Yeah. Good morning, I'm to support what you got. Oh, thank you. Hey, Mama Flag, girl. Yeah, yo. Because we already listen. Voice.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
Listen. Kenneth, thank you so much. Yeah, we you know, this is a long-term thing for us. We're trying to think about longevity. So, you know, we've been doing this for the past in August, it will be a year of us doing podcasts or our IG live. So thank y'all. We're going to keep trying to be consistent as much as possible. And we appreciate y'all support. So with that, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks here again?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. But watch out for our podcast. That's a weekly thing.
Yeah, okay? That's a weekly thing. So
all right.
we'll post about that as well.
Yeah, and with that, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all. We'll see y'all soon.